Hi, and welcome back to the best thing you watch. Chris from Movies and Munchies, myself, Ruben from the Ruby Tuesday.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us. If this is your first time, our weekly kind of formula is that we do a movie quiz at the beginning. We say who won the previous week. We talk about the best things we watched in movies, TV series, and then in our audio exclusive content. Wait, sorry, what? I'm sorry, Chris. There's a weird sound. I want to sort that out before we carry on. Can you entertain the audience, please? Don't worry. This is not like last time. I'm not going to jump on the screen.
Well, I'll just entertain everybody as Ruben goes along there and figures that out there. But yeah, hey, I hope everybody's had a great week. Like we had talked about, it has been just a very...
I found a really weird noise.
What the heck?
Just kidding. That's mean. And out of context, if this is your first time joining us, that'll mean nothing to you. But if you have been joining us week on week, and thank you for joining us in the last few weeks where we've been doing things on the same screen together, because I was in the USA.
Yes.
And that was a lot of fun. So we have actually more content together that we filmed together on our Patreon stuff. So if you want to see that, me tasting more sweets, like the American sweets, that was very interesting. Apparently I still don't have diabetes because I haven't gone back to the doctor yet. So if you just don't get checked up, then you don't have it, right?
You don't have it.
Exactly that. So do check out the Patreon, our audio exclusive. As I was mentioning, we are going to be talking about a particular film. I think we're going to be talking about Dark City. Is that right?
Yes.
That's going to be a lot of fun to chat about. And then all our entertainment news and what we're looking forward to. I still haven't caught up on my sleep, Chris. Jet lag is kicking my ass.
I bet. Yeah. I mean, it was kind of even though you were here for 10 days, it was like a whirlwind trip. And I mean, you were just beginning to kind of get on the schedule. I mean, coffee. Ooh.
That's what it is. Wonder where I got this from.
Oh, so cool. Yeah. So it was awesome. I mean, if you are just joining us for the first time, check out the last couple of weeks where Ruben and I worked together, because that was a ton of fun. We had just a blast really hanging out and
ate so much good food. Mongolian being my favorite, I think, for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Now I'm looking out for Mongolian everywhere, and I'm always disappointed. You're not Mongolian. Move on. Sorry.
Jog on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I keep offending just like whole people groups, and I'm sorry, but I find it very funny.
Well, you know, we got to have a new social media platform where we can offend people, because Twitter's going to die, apparently. Although I'm not buying it.
I don't see that, yeah. But
anyway, the movie quiz for last week.
Yes. You know, we had one winner who got it first, but we had two additional people that got the answers right. That was very exciting. So nice. The answers, first off, were King Kong, Jerry Maguire, and Apocalypse Now. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to apologize if I mess up any of these names because
you have to get them right.
Yes. Well, so All About Mill 1
nice.
got the answers first. So congratulations. Yes, that is awesome. And then Puspa Velai, I think, and Master Onion North, both of them also got the correct answers just a little bit later on. So congratulations also. That's awesome.
Nostromo, you got 2 out of the 3. Up your game, dude.
Wow, just calling out there in the
because he's normally the one that gets all of them.
The gauntlet has been thrown.
The gauntlet. Woo. I challenge you to a duel. I need like a little iron glove. Oh dear.
So are you ready to stump us? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. This is good. Oh. First, just one word.
Oh, geez.
Hamster.
Oh, yes. Okay, fair enough.
You got it. See? You know. I'll do the full quote for everybody that's like, what on earth are you on about? If you aren't of Chris and my mind's immature humor, then you probably wouldn't have got it. So let's go. I fart in your general direction. Your mother was a hamster, and your father smelt of elderberries. Sorry, I couldn't even say it without laughing. It's such a good quote.
That's a great one.
Yeah. Okay. Second one. That white stuff that accumulates at the corner of your mouth when you're really thirsty.
Ooh.
Okay, full quote. You're somewhere between a cockroach and that white stuff that accumulates at the corner of your mouth when you're really thirsty.
I think I know that, but I don't know it.
You know it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know it when you know it. Yeah.
All right.
It's so really good.
Well, and it's a great insult regardless. So you got two good insults going right now. Is the third one an insult?
Yes. But
nice. Okay.
Not to humanity, to a planet. If people don't get this one, then I'm just upset with you. There's only one. There's 3 words, and that's all you get for this one. Is fuck you, Mars. Which is fantastic. I know how much you like this film.
Yes. Well, let us know in the comments. Call them out. Let us know. What are the answers to these? Oh, goodness. Okay. And I'm still, the second one has stumped me, but that's okay. I think I can.
Cool. I gave you a clue.
You did. Yeah. For everybody on the visual, we got a clue.
Right.
If you were just listening on the podcast.
I waved my fingers together with 2 fingers, 2 by 2 across my ears in a forward-backwards motion. There you go.
Yeah.
If that helps at all. The description. And people are like, I'm more confused now than ever.
Yeah. That's a worst game of charades ever.
What is happening? Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, so I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the better love story? Titanic or The Notebook?
Oh, flip. I mean, Titanic is an epic film, isn't it? One of the highest grossing films of all time.
Yeah.
But because of the way James Cameron wrote it, the ending, I will forever hate him. Jog on, James Cameron. That the plank was big enough. I don't buy this nonsense. Their love could have... Why couldn't he survive? Everybody else died. Why? Give them a damn happy ending. I'm still bitter about this movie. So The Notebook. Yeah.
The Notebook.
Although equally as depressing.
Yeah. You know, though, we actually just recently watched this a couple of weeks ago. Okay. And what did we watch it on? I don't think I pulled out like the Blu-ray. I think we watched it on a streaming platform.
Right.
And the ending was different.
What? Are there different endings to The Notebook?
I didn't think so, but doesn't...
So you weren't
warning,
watching 50 First Dates?
Yeah, no. I mean, because they still die, but not in the bed together.
What?
You know, where he climbs in the bed with her and they both just go to sleep.
Because they're old now. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it just shows that that brokenheartedness and that love and everything.
Alternative ending.
It was weird because we like it ended and we were like, that's not the ending.
Did you maybe switch off before?
No.
No, I've had enough of this.
We've seen this part. Done.
Okay. Let us know in the comments which ending do you remember.
Yeah. Yes. And which would you choose? Which do you think is the better love story? I agree with Ruben that I do think The Notebook is the better love story, even though both are epic and they both are they're engrossing.
I mean, I think Titanic is the better film. It's epic. It's huge. The production scale of it, all of that.
Sure.
The people, the journeys, the story, all of that was epic. But that ending will always just hack me off. I'll be like, no. Jog on.
Yeah. See, now Ruben's offending people.
Yeah. We do that here.
Yes, well, that's okay. All right. Should we dive in?
Yes, I'm excited.
All right. What's at the top of your list?
I have a lot at the top of the list. I'm just going to choose from one. Okay, so my wife's mother-in-law is over from New Zealand.
Okay.
My son finished his. I'm setting this theme. Okay.
Yeah.
My son finished his work. Well, I made him stop because he'd been working all day. He's got huge things to put in for college because it's all gearing up for university now. So I made them stop, and Warner Brother sent me a film to watch. I didn't get to bring it with me because it didn't arrive in post. I was going to bring it with me, and we were going to watch it.
Oh,
which is pretty cool because mother-in-law hadn't seen this and my son hadn't seen it. And it was, so my wife and I sat there, I'd seen it once at the cinema, and then seeing it on 4K. Oh boy.
Oh, nice.
So I chucked it on the 4K projector, on the 4K Blu-ray there, and then put on the Dolby Atmos. Put that sound up as loud as my wife would allow. And dude, I have to say, every time I watch this film now, it gets better. I'm going to say something that's quite controversial. I think it's better than the first one.
Well, and for the audio, Ruben is talking about Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, thanks. I sometimes do that. I just get into it, get excited about talking about the film. I forget to mention what film I'm watching. So no, carry on.
Oh no, I think I would agree with you that I think it's the better film also.
It's only the better film though because we have the first one to work off of. We wouldn't have that emotional impact with moments like Iceman, with Val Kilmer in this movie. The dude, I was tearing up at the beginning and I was tearing up in the Iceman, and I was like, when the score kicks in, still gets me. Dude, I'm just like, all right, I'm there. But for my son, who I had recently, I think it was a few months ago, I made him watch the first one in prep of this one. Okay. And he thought it was boring. It took a long time to get into the action. It was not nostalgic for him because he doesn't come from that, that era. So I thought, well, that was very interesting. But hearing him saying, that was a really damn good film. Maverick, it's managed to do the thing where it's melding all the generations and everybody's coming out going, that was really good, right? And the thing, what I think makes it really good is one of those lines that we hear old fuddy-duddies say, well, they don't make movies like that anymore. And they don't. All of this is practical. And that's one of the things I like that I would champion about the 4K, is that the special features have all these bits showing you how they made it. So you get to see what it took for them to put the cameras in the cockpit. They needed to have 6 to 8 cameras in the cockpit. They basically redesigned the IMAX cameras, and then the Navy told them what they needed to have in the cockpit and what they weren't allowed to have, what they needed to have in order for the plane to still, these F-18s to still be working. So they basically, to function, because if you do something wrong, you're dead. There was this one scene in one of the making of is that one of the bolts from the cameras, the screws just was hovering in midair as they were doing like a twist, and you're like, that could kill you. So that was so they did all this training before, and then Tom Cruise created a training camp for the actors, because if you're a pilot, there's a certain amount of training that you have to go through that you need to survive, and part of that was water training. So if you use your because you're Navy and water makes sense, but if you eject and you land in water, there's certain things that you need to get out from your canopy, not panic, hold your breath, be shook to this way and that, and it was really intense. And so the actors that you see had gone through all this training, and then he had taken them from various aircraft, building them up to the G-force that they would require, and they actually went through those 8 Gs, each of those actors. So when you see them and their faces are like, that's 8 times your body weight is how I understand G-force, and then it's pulling your blood from your face. So they had to get taught how to breathe to keep blood in your head so you don't pass out and die. And I was like, one of the actors said, I don't know how Tom Cruise got the sign off of we're gonna do this, because it's all in camera, it's all real shots. They had a special jet camera rig system, all the technology they just didn't have in the first film, which is why it's such a ride. So I will fight people all day long saying that this is a bad film. It's the reason why it's gotten over that billion mark is because people keep going back to watch it.
Yeah.
Buy it. You need it.
It is so good. Awesome. That's fun.
So I think I just gushed about it, but it's really easy to gush about.
No, that's great. That's outstanding because it is. I've seen it. I saw it in IMAX the first time, which was just phenomenal.
So good.
And then saw it just on a regular big screen the next time, and it was still just as fun, just as great. Still was just as excited and tense at all the parts, even though I know everything that's coming up. But
that's what I thought. I thought it was. I'm really hoping that this is not going to be one of those where, because I know. It's not going to be as fun. But there was something special about watching with people who hadn't seen it. Like, it's their first time, and you're like, I can't wait for this moment. But at the same time, those emotional bits, the actor who plays the son.
Oh, Miles Teller?
Yeah, Miles Teller. We were marveling at his ability to mimic the father, the character. He must have studied Top Gun movie for hours on end to get the mannerisms so right. There's this moment where he's on the beach and he does this little dance movement with his body, and it's exactly the same as his father did, like his movie dad. And I was just like, so good, so good. Yeah.
Nice. All right.
What's on the top of your list?
This one was The Menu, with Ralph Fiennes and Anya Taylor-Joy.
I've heard very interesting things about this film.
Yeah, and I've seen some mixed reactions, and I can understand some people not liking parts of it. Once you understand what's going on, the movie is fairly predictable.
Yeah,
but the comedy is biting, and it is really, really funny. I mean, I took my oldest son, and we both watched to the screening, and so we're sitting there, and not just us, the audience, we're laughing out loud through a lot of this.
Oh, I didn't think it was a comedy.
It's very dark comedy. Okay. And so it's not like these belly laugh type of things. It's just like these chortles where you're just like, because whatever somebody said or something happened was really good, like just as an accent type of thing. So you have the basic premise is these super rich type of snobbish people are invited to this uber exclusive restaurant that's on an island with this world renowned chef. And once they're there, the night does not go as everybody planned, thought, or expected. And it's Ralph Fiennes, good gravy. He's riveting to watch. He commands the screen. I mean, now part of it is he's a chef, and so he commands his people. But the way that he brings his presence, you're just like, oh. And he does certain mannerisms, and then to watch everybody else around him, like the patrons, react, and then Anya Taylor-Joy, who's just a little different, and so it's that conflict that then arises within there. It's good. I mean, it works as a social commentary. There are parts to this, like there's this group of three guys who are like the bros, the alpha male type of things. Their scenes were, I think, geared to be funny. They weren't funny. They were more cringy than anything, and just kind of like exactly what you'd expect to come from them. And so it was just kind of like, move on. Let's go, but on the whole, it's tense. It's, I don't know. Well worth seeing. I had only seen one trailer, and I only saw that recently. Like I go for it.
No, I was just going to say, I think we need an award for Ralph Fiennes, not just an Oscar. I think people need to acknowledge now, finally, that this man is a tour de force when it comes to acting. If you look at his IMDb list, you sometimes go, oh, damn, this dude acts. Like he's up there with, what's his name? My left foot.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis, yeah. I think sometimes people forget, just because maybe he was in Harry Potter and he's like Voldemort. I think if you go back and look at his tour de force of acting ability, so he's normally a seal of approval. Like, if he's in it, I'm like, for one thing, I know the acting's going to be excellent. Maybe the film is crap, but him in it, it's going to be great. But then you have Anna Taylor-Joy, and that contrast of acting, because she's sometimes quite soft, but has a good presence. I don't know how she is, but I'm looking forward to it. I've heard really good, like, people are describing it as like it's a 5-course meal, which is funny because of the...
It is. Well, and the aesthetic that they do is that they put it on and they show you course 2, course 3, with these, and it's very artsy in the way that they do that. And then occasionally they will throw up on the screen, like what the meal is. What the ingredients are, sometimes before, sometimes after. And especially when it's after, like, we found it very funny at that point because it's typically something that's a little bit sarcastic or snarky within the verbiage that you see, and it ties into what we just watched. But
is it horror? Comedy horror?
It's I wouldn't really classify it as horror. I mean, it has some like thriller element types to it. And maybe, I mean, there are some disturbing portions to it. I mean, and like some horrific moments, but I've seen people call, I don't know if I want to say that or no, I will say it because people have said this. They call it like a revenge thriller. And I didn't see it as that. I think that's too dismissive of what it is.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Recommended watching at the cinema or waiting for home release? Because it's not exactly a massive, epic movie.
No,
right?
well,
but sometimes visually it's worth seeing.
Yeah. From a visual standpoint, yeah. Now, see, I think because it's Fox Searchlight, or it's Searchlight now, which is the independent arm. So it's classified more as like an indie film, like an artsy film. So it's not going to get a wide distribution like, say, Maverick would.
Does that mean it will be on Disney soon?
Probably at some. Well, I don't know. I mean, that's hard to tell too because it's a hard R. So from a visual standpoint, yes. To watch it like that, I think to see it with an audience, to experience that together, it can be a lot of fun. Is it absolutely necessary to see it in the theater? No, probably not. I mean, I think seeing it at home is going to give you the same emotions, but you need to be invested in the movie. That's the thing. Like, you're just typically not distracted when you're in the theater. And it's so easy to be distracted at home. And that's where I would say don't be distracted in this, because sometimes it's just the look or it's the little mannerisms and the interactions that aren't necessarily vocal.
Well, Fiennes can be very understated to catch what he's bringing.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Okay, I've got another interesting one.
Yes.
I'm just going to rattle off some names from the cast.
Okay.
Michael Madsen, Tim Roth, Harvey Keitel, Steve Buscemi, Quentin Tarantino. Okay, so in the UK, I think it might be world releasing. There's a Reservoir Dogs Limited Edition SteelBook in 4K coming out on Monday. It is the best. For the audio, it's going to be hard to describe this, but it's the best cover I've seen in a long time. Okay, so let me show you. It basically has the side of a face with the bleeding ear. Now, if you remove the slipcase, it has the title but no ear.
Oh, that's cool.
Genius. Inside it, you get the 4K and the Blu-ray. The Blu-ray has this special alternative. I think it's the ear. It's like playing it fast and loose, profiling the Reservoir Dogs. There's a bunch of deleted scenes and alternate ear scenes. There's a bunch on it that's worth getting.
Nice.
The thing I'd forgotten about Reservoir Dogs is how ahead of its time it was, and still is today. It's essentially a stage play, and it all happens in this one little warehouse, and you get to see Mr. Blue and Mr. Orange and all their code names from their perspective of what happens when they all end up at the warehouse. The thing is, everybody keeps saying it's this film about the bank robbery. You never see the bank robbery. They all describe the story, which is great in itself. But the filmmaking is something that I think film students should go back. I think people have forgotten and study it. There are shots in this where it's so uncomfortable to watch because it'll be wide and it'll be using the audio of like the hall or the room that they're in, and they won't cut, or Quentin won't cut into it. He'll just wait and wait and wait, and you're listening, and it's monologuing, and it's like just people shooting the shit or people talking about the thing that just happened to them and who is the betrayer amongst them, because that's the whole thing about the movie, who betrayed them. And then he'll cut in, and then he'll jump back out. And then you get Michael Madsen he'll put in the score, and he becomes this really creepy dude, but it's so understated. Michael Madsen's dancing with a knife, and the music kicks in. He's just, I don't know where I and then the poor guy sitting in the chair is freaking out, like, what is happening? I know something bad's about to happen. And he's so calm and collected, but at the same time, he has that serial killer presence. I think people forget. This is when Quentin jumped onto the scene and he hit Hollywood with a blam. And then people are like, oh yeah, he's overrated. I don't think he is. He is a weird dude for sure. Sure. But Quentin Tarantino has given us some of the best. And there's a reason for that. Each film is almost a different genre. Sometimes people put Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction in the same. It's not even closely related. You need to go and watch Reservoir Dogs and do yourself a favor. If you're a fan, the slipcover is so cool.
That's so cool. That is a great slip, and the SteelBook itself is still awesome to look at.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, nice.
Anyway, so I had great fun. It had been a long time since I'd seen it. I was like, this is good.
Cool. All right, so next up, this is a movie that I saw in the theaters just the other night. I haven't actually even, at the time of this recording, I've not even done my review for it yet. But it's called She Said, and it's based on true story. It's the Me Too story, basically, that broke in Hollywood about Harvey Weinstein. I almost said Keitel because that's who you were just talking about. But Harvey Weinstein and just his widespread sexual assault of women in the entertainment industry. And it stars Carey Mulligan and Zoe Kazan, and then with a whole bunch of other people. But it is, oh gosh, how to describe it? Did you ever see that movie Spotlight with Michael Keaton about a newspaper? They were investigating, and Mark Ruffalo's in it also. They're investigating, I believe it was the Catholic priest's sexual assault on just
what's this one called again?
Widespread. This one's called She Said, and so it feels a little like Spotlight because you have investigative journalists, researching a story, putting it together, doing the interviews and everything, and just watching.
So it's not actually a documentary.
No. It's a dramatization. Right. The thing I liked about it was also the thing that kind of made it slow, because the movie does, like, you feel the time at parts, but it's because we're watching these journalists go through the paces. They're uncovering stuff, but nobody wants to talk. And so they can't use that source. So they're then trying to find a different source that they can who will go on the record or that they can name. And we just watch this. And as they listen to harrowing story after harrowing story, how that affects them in their own personal lives from just hearing these terrible things. And the drama and really the intensity slowly builds. I mean, it does, like, it becomes like just anxious because of everything that we've heard. And yet, is there going to actually be action for it? Can these reporters do what they need to and say what, and print what they need to?
So it specifically focuses on Harvey then?
It does start off with a little bit of covering some other sexual assaults that were like in the media and stuff, like because I think Megan Twohy, who is played by Carey Mulligan, the real life reporter, she also reported on Trump and the allegations of sexual abuse against him, prior to the 2016 election. And that's how the movie starts off, just little bits here and there. And then it goes into this. And it is just, I mean, it's a tough movie to watch in certain aspects because you hear these women tell their story. But it's riveting. It is. You're watching and you're just like, whoa. I mean, and the actors as they perform they're incredible. I mean, what they bring, just emotive. It is like I was sucked in. I'm just like speechless, silent, like barely even breathing as they're doing some of these things because of what they're describing. And now being on this side of time, knowing that he was convicted of so many of these things. And it's just, it's a tough watch. I mean, I'm not saying that this is like, yay, this is happy and it's feel good. And you walk out with like a yes type of feeling.
The question that comes up in my mind is it, and it's weird to be asking the question, does this help the situation of the Me Too movement, or is it dragging up things that, because sometimes it went a bit crazy.
I think this gives more context to it.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah.
Because Me Too just came about and a lot of people, I don't think there was a good understanding of what it was, or maybe a misconception of what it was. And there became that perception of people just jumping on a bandwagon.
Yeah, because now we've ended up with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, and proving that Amber is all false. Yeah, lied.
Which is terrible for women. I mean, that's just horrible.
That doesn't help at all, doesn't it?
No, it discounts and it makes people then question when a woman brings an accusation because she chose to lie. She realized
how much damage she did there.
Yeah, it's so bad. So I think from an information standpoint, from a reality check type of thing, this is a good thing. That this allows people to maybe now understand of what was going on, why this came about, how widespread it actually was. There is, which I didn't see. I saw one trailer for it, but I hadn't looked at the cast or anything like that. There was an actor in here that surprised me. Because when we hear like the accusers, or we hear like audio tapes and stuff like that, they're recreations. So like one of the people on a recording is Rose McGowan, and it's not actually her. But I was shocked that it was not actually her because the voice sounds.
Oh right, I'm surprised they didn't get her as well. She's very outspoken.
Yeah, and I don't know the reason for that. I didn't look it up to see why didn't somebody participate or not. But one person did participate.
Okay.
And it actually is
that a powerful moment?
Well, it is because and it's surreal because the person is playing themselves. So you're watching these people almost relive the trauma. And just in a
fictionalized dramatization, but they're still playing it, so they're bringing it into reality. That's a weird.
It's very effective. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, because because they and I don't know how much where creative license was taken. It is based on the book by the two reporters. So,
but you do have to be careful. Because it is a dramatization story, but then you're saying that this is the truth because you're bringing that truth in. So you're skewering the truth to your perspective. So when people are watching it at the cinema, they might now leave thinking that this is the truth. And it might be, but it is a dramatization.
Yes. Yes. And so, yeah, so it's a, I don't know where that line is of like, what did they not include, or did they, my guess is that a lot of the stuff at least came from the interviews and from their experience, because these are still active reporters, you know, they have credibility at play here, but also you have filmmakers who are making the film. But yeah, it's definitely eye-opening. It doesn't leave you like a yay type of feeling, you know.
No,
I mean, it leaves
never
you.
was going to be, and it shouldn't be. If it was, then they've done something wrong.
Exactly.
But it's interesting because when you make films that are, I guess, relevant to culture at that time, so even Black Panther has that weight on it, you know, with the loss of Chadwick Boseman, as well as what it means to African American people. It's a very special film, not just to Marvelites. You know, we love
absolutely.
Marvel, but you know, it stands for something. And so you have something like this. It's quite weighty. So I do wonder like how much they thought of that, how that would influence. It's just an interesting question that I think when watching it, I would have in my mind. Yeah. I'd be curious to hear what you think of it, or what you see of it, because it is a very, I was going to say it's a very American movie, but it's not, because it's just telling a story. It's not. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll definitely catch it. I don't think it's one I'll jump to the cinema to watch, but when it comes to streaming, I will definitely give it a go.
And I can see that happening more. I mean, my theater actually had a lot of people in it when we saw it, but because we saw it opening night on Thursday. But I don't think this is going to be one that like people flock to. Yeah,
I could see a streaming service picking it up and doing quite well there. Yeah,
and it really, you know, that reminded me you should see it. I mean, if you want great performances, then definitely, because it's not just from Carey Mulligan and Zoe Kazan. It's like so many people do such a phenomenal job in this. Even when they have like little tiny pieces of a performance, they still make the most of it and eat it up. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's an interesting one. I have an interesting one for us. Thankfully, not based on reality. If it was, it'd be really, really creepy. So Netflix came out with a new Korean drama series this week called Somebody, and it's really split audiences, which I love.
I saw the first episode last night.
Okay, so you understand. If we could talk about, let's just talk about the first episode so that we can explain to the audience. Let me get your perspective. What did you think?
It's okay. How? Oh, goodness.
A murder takes place, and the app Somebody is involved in the murder case. That is the synopsis, but that is like so far removed from what's actually going on.
And that doesn't even make any sense. I mean,
you need to understand what the app is first to explain to your audience.
Yeah. So there's this. Now she says she has Asperger's.
Yeah, she does. Well, that's
and so.
What's in the description?
Exactly. Yeah. So this young girl, she's pretty much a loner. Well, she creates an app that is meant for like it's a chat bot, but it's meant to help and be a resource to actually the quietest person, the most introverted person.
Yeah, those on the fringe. It basically helps you make friends, which is a great idea. I love that. Like even the bits, there's this bit where it basically remembers your keystrokes. Yes. Because when you delete something, it remembers what you wanted to ask, and then it realizes you're too shy, and it goes, here you go. This person wanted to ask about porn. No, I'm joking. It would have been something else. Hey guys, dodgy person here on this chatbot, which is kind of what it ends up being, right? Some dodgy person uses it for their nefarious. Now, I really like the nefarious dude in this. He's so creepy.
Yeah, well, and he's got the Jeffrey Dahmer glasses right when we need
He totally looks like him. He actually does. If you took the Netflix actor that did Jeffrey Dahmer recently side by side Peters, with that image, you'd be like, whoa, okay, they could be related.
Yeah, it was weird. I love how the girl, our main protagonist, is she's obsessed with retro. You know, and it was very weird at the beginning because, you know, we see them using iPhones and there's iPads and stuff, so we know that it's relatively recent. Even if it's not like right today, I mean, it's within the last handful of years. But then in her office, which she also has an identical office in her house, which that was very weird. But she has these giant CRT monitors, you know? And so it was I'm like, what's going on? But then we see her playing on some, you know, old school video games, you know, arcade games. And so I think it's just at her game room. Oh my gosh, dude. Did you geek out at that? A
little bit. Yeah.
Whoa.
She's seriously smart though. Like I know that sometimes goes hand in hand with people like who are autistic or have Asperger's. They excel at some point, and she does. But then her emotional skills are zero, as in she can't really differentiate like what's happening if somebody's feeling happy or sad. And so when she's meeting with a dodgy person, she's either intrigued by their logic, which is bad, which I think is what occurs, and but at the same time, the subsequent episodes, you get to see how he kind of plays. It's like a cat playing with their food, right? It doesn't always want to kill them. He wants to see how they react in a certain situation, and then maybe come back later to finish him off. It reminded me a bit of Dexter, if Dexter wasn't a good killer yet, which he is. There's also this weird thing that he might have some supernatural ability, as in strength and speed. It's filmed in such a weird way that I was like,
Well, the way episode 1 ends was not what I expected. I mean, it was just like you get this vibe, you know, and you're like, okay. And we see a couple of things. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, and his expressions, you're like, you're not right. Just
you wait till he laughs. It's going to creep you out.
Yeah.
So I do want to, in my review, I did warn people, but I think we should say that there is a cat kill. Was it in the first film?
It was in the first episode,
okay, it was there. Yeah. Okay. It's a CG cat. I don't think it was real, but it's real enough, and you hear the screams, and then she has to put it out of its misery. You don't see that, but you hear it as well. So it's really harsh. I found it difficult to watch. So if you've had exactly. And if you've had a pet die recently, like that would be really fresh and raw for you. So just like have that as a spoiler warning. Maybe just skip those few seconds, or have it on 0 and just wait. It is kind of integral to the scene because she's speaking to the dude, and that really helps to build an understanding of who he is and who she is, like how she gauges danger or is attracted to something darker.
Well, and because it's not just him that she's speaking with, there's a lot of conversation going on in that scene, and so you don't want to skip the scene because it helps build context for what's to come.
Exactly.
But yeah, we just like literally we just turned down the volume. My wife was like, I can't listen to this, and I'm like, okay, fair enough.
It's dark. Yeah. The dark moment. And I'd like to say that the rest of the series isn't as equally brutal, but it is. But it is a slow burn, and then there are moments of dang. All right. Which is why I liked it. The contrast and the score is just like happy and bouncy, but has this weird, just creepy. Like I felt uneasy the whole time watching.
I was loving because they're using a lot of classical music, but then turning it into like synth pop. Yeah. And it totally works. I mean, it was
100%. Yeah.
But yeah, it keeps you off kilter, doesn't it? Because it messes with the emotion, and you're like, I'm not sure this shouldn't be correlating
to what I'm seeing on screen. That is not the same. It's great.
No.
But you definitely want to check out if you like your K-drama. It's not for everybody. I've had like literally every person that loves it, there's a person that hates it. It's like a Marmite, which I totally get. I get it. It's a weird one. thankfully 8 episodes. So
and all at once. So that's
and all at once, yeah.
That's also good. Yeah. Let me ask you this: is it because I'm only on episode 1? Do you think there will be more seasons, or does it feel like one and done?
I don't want to spoil that.
Okay.
The ending, yeah, there could be. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to spoil that bit for you, but you'll understand when you watch it. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Okay. The last thing on my list, which you've watched also, I know. I'm not sure if it's on your list or not. But this is a series that we started when you were here in the U.S.
Oh, it's rubbish.
And it's been the way one that has been my most anticipated since it was announced. 1899 on Netflix. What the actual crap?
Are we just gonna talk spoilers? Or do you want to just? It's still early. I don't know.
It is. Well, yeah, because it only came out just. Let's talk a little bit about the series first, and then we could do a spoiler.
Okay, sure.
Warning. So let me just say this right off the bat that I don't think this is as good as Dark, at least at the moment.
Okay.
I'm loving it. Don't get me wrong. Like I don't say that as a disappointment to it, but I'm
not there with you on that. I think it's as good, if not better. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
so I love Dark, but I'm really enjoying this. Like this is flicking my fantastical switch.
Oh well, yes, it is. It is definitely, and maybe I need to rewatch the season as a whole again. Because, I mean, we watched the first 6 episodes and then had a week.
And then we had to wait for those last 2.
Then watch the final 2. I love how there are so many what the crap moments in there where we watch something.
Consistent.
Yeah, every single time. And even at I think it was episode 2 or something, we see one thing and it gives us a big insight into what we've been watching. But then it just continues and continues. And then the finale, you're like, whoa, okay. I didn't see that part coming. Now, did you see that part coming?
No.
Okay.
I knew that is so so I knew it was going to be okay. It's going to be this thing. Because I think I said to you when we were sitting on the couch together watching it, I really hope it's not this.
Yes.
And it kind of was that. But I don't mind that so much.
Yeah, because it's a little different than what
It's different. And the location of the reveal was the big what the crap moment. The worry I have is going forward, how do they, because they've revealed that, how do they keep what's the mystery of season 2 and 3 then?
Yes, I completely agree.
I think everybody now that's finished watching it needs to go and watch the making of, because there's some interesting information that shows you how they made it. You get to hear the director, specifically the one director who is the puzzle maker, and she loves it. That's her thing. She did the puzzle of Dark, and so this was her next. And during the making of Dark, they knew they were going to make this. And so she's already starting to put the puzzle together for this. Wow. Yeah. So it gives you a whole insight into the technology they used, how they're moving this stage production, the fact that they have to, the camera assistants don't get the smoke breaks because the technology is making the turnaround so quick because the stage is moving, not just the screens, that they can be like, okay, we're set, let's go.
Dang it,
like,
wait.
Dang it. I want my fag break. Sorry, we can't say that anymore. But in the UK, it's like a smoke break, but used to be fag break.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I think the strength of this comes because of just the ongoing mystery of like, wait, what? Like it's so unpredictable. Even in the parts where you believe that, okay, yeah, I understand what's going on now, and you get a couple of things right, and then they go, Oh yeah, no, you don't know what's going on at all here. What? Just I love the effects that they do, that allows you to have things appear like in the middle of a field. You know, as a doorway or something, and that's not a spoiler. Yeah. That's just it's just it's a visual type of effect, and you're like, whoa, and it's beautiful to look at and very intriguing because it shouldn't be there.
I love the ad of, so we've got sci-fi, we've got fantasy, sort of, we've got mystery, we've got time period, we've got multicultural cultures with people speaking their own language to each other and not understanding who they, like, you can be speaking French to me and I can just try, because I don't speak French, I'm trying to guess what you're saying. They have that, and that was on purpose by the directors. Can you imagine how difficult that was to film in a COVID time, which is when they were doing it? So everybody that comes on set that speaks a different language needs their own translator. Even if they speak English, they still need a translator because they need to understand the nuances of the script of what they're meant to be saying. Except the directors don't speak all those languages, so then they need to translate it for them and try and speak to them in the way that they understand. Not everybody spoke English as well. And every time they got someone to come into the group, that means even if it was 2 days, it's 14 days turnaround because of the COVID testing before and after. The logistics of filming this was incredible. And so you just start seeing that how puzzle making it is behind the scenes is what you get on screens. Every single bit is controlled in the story. Yeah. So I kind of have faith as they know what they're doing and where it's going. But at the same time, even the big crazy reveal at the end, there still came a line of, yes, but it's this person that's actually blah, blah, blahing. And I was like, so who's that person then? I think I know who it is, but they didn't reveal that. Yeah. It's great.
All right. Yeah, it is great. Yeah, no, I'm in love with the show. I'm in love with the show. So it's, Should we talk spoilers now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Spoiler warning.
There you go.
Previously on 1899, they were all dead.
Should we just...
You just talk about the ending. It's fine.
Yeah. She's in space. And it's the year 2099.
Yeah.
What?
So Earth is dead. This is humanity's last hope. They're sent out a mission for us exploring it. So what they've discovered in their technology is that humans need something to do in their hypersleep, otherwise they go insane. But there's a virus in the system because the mother infiltrated the system by putting her son's brain or consciousness into the system because he's obviously dying. So we have all these things carrying on. However, there's another caveat, is because someone else, the brother, is controlling everything. I think the brother is the captain, which is why there was a personal connection there. Because at first it was romantic, but there's definitely a personal connection there, like who he is. He's definitely going to come back and be someone more. So if it's not the brother, then because it turned out it wasn't the old guy that we thought maybe that was in charge. It's the kid's simulation, but it's not just his. Everybody's in that simulation. And they're all experiencing it. And I'm so it's the Matrix.
Yes.
I mean, it really is. The two injections, the blue, the white and black one. There were so many moments as Matrix.
Yeah, definitely. That's here's what I now that it's been revealed that they're in 2099. Does 1899 make sense as a title?
Unless it's an Inception and they're not actually in space, and that's another layer. And did they even come out of the pods?
Simulation?
Yeah, it totally could be that.
Oh, that's a great point. Yeah, because it's still like you hear those things of like the old guy talking, the father, of how every single time they choose this, you know, and they because of emotion. And so maybe this is just like they've made the next step finally, or we're seeing a different progression. And so now it's a different part of the simulation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what could happen is there could be another ship, and season 2 could control that, and we see it from their perspective, what's going on in this simulation, where we get introduced to new characters, because they're definitely going to have to introduce new characters. So how are they going to do that? Because we've seen a limited number of pods on the Prometheus.
Yes.
I'm presuming maybe that's not the only place that has the pods.
Well, yeah, because it talks about, and I don't know when it lists all the like the year and the number of people and all that. That's just on Prometheus.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and we know that or at least it appears that the brother is in a different place.
Yeah.
So. I figured that there would be at least, you know, that wasn't the only ship.
Yeah. So it means new characters and a bigger storyline. If that is the thing, if it is them all traveling in space to get to the planet, do they land on the planet and that's where the story continues?
Yeah. Well, and you can bring, we'll see, and all those people that died who just walked off the ship, which
they're simulations, they're not real.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. So they can all come back.
Yeah. The thing is, I really like some of those characters. I want them to be real. Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if we can talk just briefly, we laughed at, during Black Panther, because there's that moment where Namor's people, like, they do that weird singing type of thing, and it puts everybody in a trance, and they just start walking.
Falling off. I felt like what's his face, Coogler had gotten advanced screeners of this series, and it'd be like, oh, that's a really cool scene, I'm gonna do that. It was so weird, because we had literally just watched that happen, and then we went to watch the screening for Black Panther, and they did it again. I was like, hang on a minute. What are the chances of this?
Yes. Oh,
pretty funny.
Okay, so I don't know, let us know if you what do you think, what are your theories on 1899? Where do you think they're going to go? Definitely put like spoiler warning in your comments, just so people don't actually stumble upon that. But yeah, I'm curious. This one is going to be which I love because of the puzzle, and like Dark. I mean, the more you watch, the more you get into it, the deeper the mystery goes before the reveal. And that's something that I totally appreciate, that not being able to figure this out or to have a great understanding of how every single thing is working. I love that, because it makes this so much more worth the investment then.
Yeah. I think I'm hoping that it's worth the wait and the ride. The thing is, so they have the story and they're ready to go. Netflix haven't greenlit the second season yet, though. It's not like they went in saying, yeah, we will give you the 3. I think they had to fight for each season of Dark as well. So, yeah,
but now you would think that Netflix would have just gone, yes.
Yeah, you go.
You get all 3, because like if you look at like online polls and stuff, audience polls, Dark is like consistently the number 1 show,
like with the best ever. Yeah, not just on Netflix. Yeah,
no, just ever. Yeah. I mean, IMDb did one, and it was so funny because Peaky Blinders, I think, came in second. But the percentage between those two was like 80% or something like that. Like Dark obliterated every other show, and for good reason. But
yeah, I mean, it's all right, isn't it? I see so many people comment about, I lasted 2 episodes. What a rubbish series. I'm like, dude, you have no idea. You can't judge the show by watching 2 episodes. You can't even watch it by judging a season. The puzzle is what makes this amazing. Once you get to like midway between season 3, you're like, when things start getting revealed.
Oh yeah. Well, and even I think it's in season 2 when we learn about the book, and and by Townhouse, and how it the question begins of at what point did the book begin? It didn't. It no longer has a beginning. You know, it just was because it came from the past, or it came from the future into the past. And so now it doesn't. It's genius. I love it.
My brain breaks.
So good. Oh, all right. What else you got on your list?
Okay, I just have one more thing. I mentioned I'd started watching this series, but now I've watched the pilot, which is like an hour and 20 minutes long, I think.
Uh-huh.
It is the Anne Rice's Interview with a Vampire.
Oh, yeah.
So based on the Anne Rice iconic novel, follows Louis Dupont's epic story of love, blood, and perils of immortality as told to the journalist Daniel Malloy. Yeah, this is an interesting one because I think people have a perception of Interview with the Vampire being like one of the greatest vampire films of all time. And I would agree with them. Because the cast of the time and when this came out was great. The cast is just ridiculous. Like every single person you read out on the script is just, them and them. And it has a lot of presence. The thing is, if you go back and read Anne Rice's books, they're really raunchy, like properly raunchy. And the characters that they cast at the time is, if you were recasting today, the cast that you got now is what you would get. It just wouldn't have happened back then. So they've gone for more accurate. And so you got Jacob Anderson, who plays Louis Dupont. You got Sam Reed, who plays Lestat. And you got Eric Bogerson, who plays Daniel. Those are the kind of the three main guys, especially for the pilot. And Sam Reed, I was just like, because it never really, I mean, I love Tom Cruise in the role of Lestat, but he didn't have that, the sexiness, the presence of Lestat. The character was always described as he walks into the room and women and men and everybody, his presence, people melt under his presence. And this guy, he's got it, man. He's just suave. Like, you hate him because he's that good. You know? Dude looks swagger, at you and you're like, I don't bat that way. Hello. How you doing? And then you have Jacob Anderson, who plays a guy, and it's a very interesting story because I know nothing about it. I feel like, oh, this is new stuff. It is in the book, but it's like, it's not the film. It's so different. It's great. So it feels like they've taken the film and we've experienced that. They haven't rebooted the film. They've carried on. This is like, I interviewed you once before. Now I'm coming back.
Oh.
And I want to know the rest of the story. Yeah, I can't wait to watch the rest. It's dark. It's definitely an 18, not to watch with your kids. Okay. Lots of sex. Lots of, like, there's a brutal scene where we get to see the moment where Lestat changes Louis into becoming a vampire. We know that's going to happen. So the whole first episode is his life being with his family and then being basically hunted, but in a very sexy way by Lestat. And there's this scene towards the end of the first episode where it's both slow and sexy, showing how he does his supernatural powers. So like, I always wondered how they're going to do that. Like, how do you run super fast? And for us watching, it seems like he's walking slow, but things just happen then around the camera. Like if he's killing someone, and then sometimes he'll suck the blood out of someone because he can, not necessarily because he's hungry, and then he'll just put his fist through someone's head, like just like as if it's nothing. And I was like, they're really showing the scariness of the monster, the suaveness of it, but also the gentleness of this. It's these juxtapositions that was always, you know, that they can destroy you with a look. Yeah. I'm so glad we're getting back to vampires that do that, because there's so many series and movies of vampires are friendly and nice. Like, no, the stuff I grew up, I remember vampires being scary. Yeah. You know, the original Nosferatu and Dracula, and we've caught a lot of that. It's not Vampire Diaries, that's for sure. It's going to be vampires are scary and dark, but still have a whole story to tell.
I'm going to have to check this out. If this is on in the US, I think it's AMC Plus. Yeah. Okay.
It's not in the UK yet, so.
Oh, okay. It's it's crazy because I read the novels in the early 90s.
How far did you get? Because they kept on going.
I want to say I probably read 3 or 4 of them. I think remember how.
There's a few more. You got to like Tale of the Body Thief. It's always remember being one of even. I think I might have stopped there. I was like, well, it was warping my fragile little mind at the time. It was too much for me.
I don't know. I would have to like read the synopses and see if I could even remember. Because I think, like, I saw the movie, Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, with Christian Slater and Kirsten Dunst, and
good Lord,
yeah.
Antonio Banderas.
Oh my gosh! See, and I don't remember the movie. Like it's crazy. Like I remember seeing it,
I think it's great.
I think the last time I saw it was when it came out.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So this would be brand new. Like I think as you were talking about it, like little bits came in. Like I think when Lestat is turning Louis, it's like a drawn out process. And like in the book, isn't it like very visceral? Like Rice really describes what's going on, right?
Yeah. And I think that's what because before she died, unfortunately, she had a massive hand in the making of the series. And you see that, you feel it. So
nice.
I can't imagine fans aren't really impressed with this. And the acting, flipping great. Yeah, really good.
Well, that's good too, that it still translates. It shows you that it's not a time and space movie or a story, but it's like timeless. That this can, it can be used today, even though the book is 30 years old, something like that.
Yeah, so, it's getting on now. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to the rest. I think it might have been picked up for like another season already. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Is it a weekly release? Is that what they're doing? Do you know?
Yeah, I think it might be out. Like there's 7 episodes available now, I think.
Oh, okay. So, it has been out for a little bit, I think, right?
Yeah, it has. Yeah. October the 2nd, I think it started running.
Okay. So probably it is going weekly.
Yeah.
And how many episodes are there? 8?
Good question.
Okay.
8, I think. I think it is 8.
Okay.
It's an 8 run. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay.
Dude.
Well, hey. Big list this week. We would love to know what are some of the best things that you watched. Let us know in the comments below. Remember, like, share, subscribe. Ruben with the Ruby Tuesday, me, Chris with Movies and Munchies. At the moment, you can tweet at us at Best We Watched. That's assuming Twitter still exists, which I don't think it's going away, but who knows. We have a Patreon opportunity for just a couple dollars a month. You can help support the production of this, and we greatly appreciate our patrons that we do have. And if you want to check that out just to see what the options are, go to patreon.com/thebeardedones. And as Ruben had teased, we are going to be in our audio only section. We do movie news, what we're looking forward to in the coming week. And also we are going to be talking about a movie that I don't remember ever seeing. So I may have watched it for the very first time. But we're going to be discussing 1998's Dark City with Rufus Sewell and Jennifer Connelly. Good gravy, she was young in that. Kiefer Sutherland, and then a whole bunch of gray bald people. But you can check that out, that audio section, wherever you happen to listen to podcasts. And if you go over there and you do listen, we would appreciate it if you could rate and review us on that, because that helps out that area of the broadcast as well. So with that, we thank you so much, and we'll see you next week. Take care.